Jim Norton is not a doctor. He's not an expert. He's not even a good person. The views, opinions, advice, and humor of Jim Norton does not reflect those of any doctor, of SiriusXM, of Opie Radio, or anyone else. They are solely those of Jim Norton, Lyle Chipperson, Edgar Mellencamp, Paul Hargis, and whoever else lives in that chinless head of his. If any of this advice goes wrong, you are the asshole who called a comedian instead of a doctor.
An icon in comedy, a fighter for freedoms, an accomplished entertainer, and a pervert. You've got problems, he's got problems. You've got questions, he's got answers, some of which are good. Call now, 866-WOW-1-WOW. That's 866-969-1969. This is the Jim Norton Show.
Howdy. Thank you for tuning in. I miss doing this show. I was going to do it in the last couple of weeks because we were off. Opie was off. I was off. And I went in and did Sam's show. But it was a matter of getting someone to work the board back at Sirius. Come to my house when I do this. So we weren't able to just get everybody's busy and vacationing with their families. So that's why I haven't done the show in 2 weeks. But I really did miss it. I kind of wanted to do it. You know, you don't realize how much you enjoy doing something unless it's not there. I feel okay. I had to, because a lot of you know I'm moving, and I've had a lot of financial insecurity with this move. You know, it's like fucking, you know, I'm a child. I mean, I'm responsible with money, but I like to pay everything off just so I can fuck off and do whatever I want. And I was wasting so much money on, you know, certain particular activities that I'm just like, you know, I want to move. I want to have a financial, you know, a responsible thing to put money into. But, you know, there was problems with the mortgage, and that was a scary nightmare, but that worked out okay. And I'm having some renovations done because the place absolutely needed it. And they hit me for a bill today. Ugh. And my contract, my designer goes, hey, we need it by next week or this week. And I'm like, I can't get that by this week. And she's like, well, they were supposed to tell me 2 weeks ago. It's just one of those things where the financial insecurity is really killing me today. I know it's going to pass. And you know how it is. You know, once in a while, you just get overwhelmed by, oh my God, did I get myself into something too big? Like, again, I've said this before, but I feel like a child who wakes up in an adult situation. Whenever I do something like this, you know, not only the move, but the renovation, you know, I start to panic. Like, I can't do this, and I know it's going to be fine, but I just, you know, whatever. I'm going on tour, so I'm really happy to be going on tour, by the way. I'm in Alabama this week, and I got a bunch of gigs coming up. So Bryce in Dallas has a question about the photos I took for my tour. I didn't even realize that until... this was not just meant as a segue, Bryce. I legitimately didn't see that. Hello.
How you doing? I love the show.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, the thought of you at like a photo shoot, it makes me laugh for some reason. Are those pictures you put on your Twitter for the tour, are those new, or are those old pictures, or was that a photo shoot?
It was a photo shoot. You know, I'm very uncomfortable doing photo shoots, as you would be if you looked like me. I don't photograph well. I'm not comfortable in front of a camera. That's why most of my headshots look the same, just me with that fucking dumb, meaty look. This one I was calling Mouthful of Shame. I was going to call it Alone and Edging. I'm like, no, fucking Mouthful of Shame. And so I went with a photographer actually to the place I'm moving into. And because the walls were just white, there was nothing happening there. And we took a bunch of photos. And out of all the photos, we got those two that I'm happy with. You know, but that was a new photo shoot because I had to do something.
Did you have final approval of the one, or?
Oh, yeah, I had to. But I'm happy with both of them. The one of me spitting water, about to spit water, that's why I'm looking up, because it's a stop motion of me actually spitting water. But I didn't
okay.
You wonder why I was looking up. It's because but I like that because every picture looks directly into camera. So I'm like, let me just do something that feels a little bit different, and you can put the dates next to it. So yeah, I'm happy with them. I don't know how people feel about them, but I mean, you know, it works for me.
Well, as a heterosexual man, you look very handsome.
Well, thank you very much, sir. That's very sweet from any man. But, you know, if you're in Dallas, I'm sure I'll be swinging through there end of the summer or so. So come see me if you can.
Well, I'm going to see you in Austin, actually. I can't wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing Austin. Okay, pal. Thanks, Bryce.
Have a good one.
All right. See you later. Jennifer in Texas having some health issues. What's up?
Hi, Jim. How are you? Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
First, I want to tell you I'm so excited. My husband and I are coming to see you in San Antonio, so we can't wait.
Thank you very much.
So we just got married in December. We were actually on Aunt's show during our honeymoon.
Oh, okay.
And I think we were like there the day before you were, and I was kicking my husband. I was like, why didn't we go the next day? I wanted to see Jim.
It's all right.
But I have lupus, and I also have mixed connective tissue disease, which is an autoimmune disease.
Okay,
And,
what happens with that? Because I knew a girl who had some autoimmune disease that was not HIV.
well, HIV it's funny because it's kind of like the opposite. My doctor told me once. He was like, well, we could completely cure your disease if, like, we wanted to give you a shot with HIV in it.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, but no.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I'll deal with what I have. But what I basically have is lupus.
That's like
I have
saying we could cure your broken hand by sawing off your arm. You know,
Exactly.
It's not worth it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have lupus.
Yeah, I have like 4 different diseases, but lupus is the worst one, and so they kind of lump them all together and call them MCTD. But I also have post-traumatic stress disorder from sex abuse when I was a kid.
Okay.
And kind of all of that this year has culminated into me having like a lot of stress, and I've had to go through this court case where the person who abused me started doing it to another kid, and I had to kind of come forward and press charges, which I hadn't done. I'm 23. This happened when I was like 4.
Are they related to you?
Well, he was my mom's ex-husband.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so kind of all of that, it's been causing a lot of problems in our sex life. And, I mean,
Why? 'Cause you don't feel like fucking, right? You're probably all bent out of shape. You don't feel like having sex.
Exactly. And my husband is completely understanding, and I completely understand that he's still, he's sexually frustrated too. At times I'm frustrated because it's like, I want to be intimate. I want to have sex with you. We're newlyweds. We should be doing it like all the time.
Right.
But, at the same time, I'm never like in the mood. And so, we've had a lot of discussions, and, we're keeping that communication line open, but I wanted to talk to you and see if you had any ideas of ways that I can still, make him feel, loved and appreciated and make us feel close without actually, having to have sex. Because, right now we're having sex maybe like once every week and a half. And so It's not like we're going, a month or 2 without having sex. But, I still feel like I want to show him in other, ways that I love him, because I know it's been hard for both of us.
Yeah, that sounds rough. But, if your wife or your girlfriend is going through like sexual abuse, childhood stuff, it's kind of hard to press her for it. But then there's the other part of it where you're like, well, I do have a dick, and it's like frustrating. So it's like, what do you do?
Right.
Like, I guess, look, I don't know if there's any types of sexual behavior that you can do that don't trigger that. Like, some people have had sexual abuse and had a really, really hard time with it. Other ways of sex might not trigger it. Like, if you play with his nipples while he jerks off. That's a stupid example. Or if any sex stuff triggers it, I would say massage, but you know what? Like massage just to make him feel like, hey, I'm here and I'm not bailing. That might turn him on. But kind of in this time, look, I would say maybe you don't need to make him feel loved. Maybe he could kind of do that for you. Like, and I hate to play the house goody gumdrops here, but if you're going through sexual abuse shit, I don't think that your number one priority should be making your husband feel loved. Like, that's heavy stuff. It's awful. That's why fucking pedophiles should pretty much be fucking shot in the temple, because they fuck everything up forever. So
no, they do.
They're just awful. They really are just fucking awful. So maybe, instead of worrying about him being loved, you guys could just be friends to each other and realize that this will pass. Hopefully he can just kind of hang in there and realize this is a rough one for anybody.
Yeah, and like we're set to go to court in February. So I've been dealing with this, my whole life. Like I said, I'm 23. This happened when I was 4, and it ended when I was 15. So this is something I've been dealing with for a long time. I've gone to counseling. I've done the grief work. Like it's not. It's heavy, and I still deal with it, but I'm okay. But with since April, when I had to press charges all the way until next month. It's been hard. I've been having more flashbacks. I've just been more stressed out. He lives in the same town I live in, and he ended up making bail. So he's out right now, so that's been stressful. It has been a really hard time. And even though we got married just, a few weeks ago, it's still, that doesn't make it all go away.
No, of course not. And it's one of those things where I would say give it some time. And, hey, look, if you want to be nice to him, just don't bitch about the things that you might normally bitch at. Like, that's something extra you could do. Like, like if he's watching football and you want him to do something, don't nag him. Just realize, hey, look, anything that distracts him from not thinking about my newlywed vagina, let him watch football. Like if he's doing something like that or watching a little porn, don't crucify him for it. Sometimes that type of stuff goes a long way. Just don't fuck with somebody. Like there's been times where I've been in fights with girlfriends and like all I want them to do is just leave me the fuck alone. Like not fuck with me and make it worse. So sometimes if you guys aren't getting laid right now, maybe you could just kind of be nicer to each other. That helps a lot. Because the last thing you need when you're stressed is somebody up your ass about something. So it sounds like a stupid thing, but instead of being all tense and yelling at each other, and I got to run, Jennifer, because we got a lot of people, but I would say just be a little nicer to each other.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. That was thank you. That was a real fucking advice. Be nicer to each other. That was a fucking Tiny Tim from A Christmas Carol bit of advice. Maybe just smile. I really am a fucking ill-equipped idiot. Let's see here. Tom in Canada. Interesting question. What's up? Tommy.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. I don't know if you were ever into Mad TV, but they had this thing when Will Sasso lost a bunch of weight. And, the funny guys, the fat guys not funny anymore. I don't know if you ever, you know what I mean? Like, you had this big weight loss. Like, do you find laughs are harder to come by?
Oh, no, not at all, dude. Honestly, there have been people who go, you were funnier when you were fat. But that's nonsense. Because my mind didn't work any better when I was fat. I'm not in love with myself now. I have a little bit more confidence in myself physically. But I'm still the same person comedically. That has not changed. And, there's a myth. I don't know, because don't forget, I was never a real physical comedian. I made fun of my fat tits and my love handles. But I wasn't like a guy like a Chris Farley or a guy like who was known like, okay, I'm a big fat guy and that's my thing. I talked about it when I had to because it got too bad. But that was never my identity, if that makes any sense. I wasn't like the big chubby uncle guy in sketches. It was never my thing. I think it's a bigger deal when Jonah Hill loses weight because his identifiable feature was he was this big fat guy and then he lost all this weight. It's like, what does he think? He's good looking? Like, I don't think I'm sexy. I think I look better. And people are like, you look better when you were fat. Okay. Well, no girl I've fucked thinks that. So I'm sorry a guy thinks that. But, no, I don't think you're funnier or less funnier because you're fatter. The only time you gotta watch it is a comedian. I feel like I look better than I did. But I'm not about to go on Instagram and pose glamour shots. I don't think I'm fucking sexy. I'm not like wearing I'm not trying to do like look at this stud thing. Like women always fuck me because I was funny. Like that was the only reason. Now they'll fuck me because I'm funny, but they won't mind as much. Do you understand? Like I'm under no illusions. Yeah. I don't think I can walk into a room full of actors and start pulling pussy because of my face. I'm not in good enough shape, and I'm not being falsely modest. It's the truth. I'm in decent shape for Jim Norton. I'm not in good enough shape to let my body be the thing that makes a girl want to fuck me. But the fact that I look better now, a girl who fucks me is like, all right, I don't mind fucking this guy. It's gotten to that point. I don't feel as self-conscious fucking a girl because I don't look as awful as I did. So, I've been pretty big my whole life there, and I mean, I've kind of been up and down, and I just noticed even, just amongst friends, I wouldn't pull the laughs that I used to when I was the chubby funny guy kind of thing, and then, well, I don't know what your relationship with them was, but maybe your jokes were a little different because they were contingent upon you being a big fat guy. Like maybe one of the jokes is like, "Hey, we're gonna hook up with this girl. Okay, hope I don't crush her." Yeah, now you can't do that type of stuff. If that's where most of your stuff was coming from, you just got to kind of change where your jokes are.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been one of them guys that just kind of pokes my my insecurities or whatever, just kind of make fun of them before they make fun of me type sense of humor. Yeah. So, I mean, it's obviously not just my physical appearance that I'm making fun of, but, it was just one of them things I was curious about. Like, I mean, I've followed you for quite a while there, and I noticed that, I mean, I laugh like an idiot no matter, what size is behind the microphone,
Yeah, some people, look, are there people that find me less funny now? Hey, that's very possible. People have said it to me. But, maybe their perception is different, too. Like, maybe they were more comfortable, or maybe they just liked me better then. You know what? I can't even get into what their motives are. Maybe they just enjoyed me more then. So I will take some people enjoying me less to feel a little bit better about myself. I'm happy I lost the weight. Again, I thank you. I don't feel like I'm ready to go fucking work in a modeling catalog, but I just feel like I look a lot better than I did, and I'm not as disgusted with myself as I was. But, so I don't know. But that's a good question, man. I appreciate your call.
All right, thank you.
Bye, you doll. Let's see here. Chris in Pittsburgh, what's up, buddy?
Tim, how are you, bro?
How are you?
Good, man. Hey, I'm black, and I have a roommate. Well, not roommate. He was my college roommate. We went to high school together and whatnot. He's a white dude, and he was pretty much almost engaged with this one girl. And they started talking and were drinking. They started asking each other stupid questions. And again, they were very, very close. And I know he's not racist, but he broke up with her once he found out, when she let him know that she had sex with a black dude. Like, how should I take that as a black dude, black guy? Like,
in all honesty, maybe he is racist on a deep level, maybe he is racist on a deep level, or it could be something like there's the myth, I'm sure some black guys have giant dicks, but there's always the myth, the black guys are great in bed, they have giant dicks. So maybe this guy's insecure, and maybe hearing she was with a black guy is something like, oh my God, I can never get over that because I know that this guy fucked her like I'll never fuck her. Like, it might be some weird opposite of cuckolding thing, like where the thought of that doesn't turn him on, but it devastates him. Because I know that,
right.
Like, my dick, fine, dude. Like, it's a normal dick. But when I was growing up, and when I was like in my 20s, I would always ask girls I dated how big, were the dicks of their ex-boyfriends. And when they were really large, or like I knew were a lot bigger than mine, it would devastate me. And it would get to a point where I would use that to torture myself. I would use it to punish myself. I'm not fucking good enough. My dick's not good enough. I'm not a man. I'm not gonna fuck her right. She's gonna leave me. It was almost like this, I would almost be joyful about it because it was this perfect way to sabotage and fuck something up. And a lot of times I'm happier being miserable. So he may be using it from that. It may not be he doesn't like black people. It may be that the black guy to him is the ultimate guy who you can't compete with in bed. It's one of those things.
That makes a lot of sense. That's crazy that someone would feel that way. I feel sorry for any white person who may think that way, but is that part of the reason why there's a lot of white guys who, they won't even date a girl if she's been with the black, they'll discard a girl and they just won't even fuck with her if she's fucked with a black guy. Is that why?
And I think that's crazy. I think it's crazy because, to me, whether we like it or not, there's still a weird, it's much more subtle than it used to be, but there's still a weird racial taboo in many ways.
But is it because they're disgusted, or is it because they don't want to compete?
I don't, to be honest, I can't speak for them. I really don't know. Some of them are disgusted by it, but I think on some of them who might think they're just disgusted by it, that may be a mask for the fact that they don't feel like they can compete. It might be a combination of shit. And don't forget, there's a lot of black guys too, who will date a fucking ugly white girl because there's something taboo about fucking a white girl. Like, there's been black guys who I've seen who are good looking dating a white girl who was way below where they could have gotten. But they were doing it for the same taboo reason a guy might freak out if a black guy fucked a white. Do you understand what I mean? There's all these weird racial taboos with sex. Personally, and this is me being a pervert, I don't mind it at all, and I kind of like it. It turns me on if a girl says she's fucked black guys, because there's something first of all, I like the fact that she's not afraid to do things that a lot of people consider taboo. And I like the fact that she's went out and experienced that type of stuff, and she's dirty, and she's not afraid of having sex with different people. So that kind of turns me on. Any variety turns me on.
That's cool. You have a stronger mentality then. But I will tell you this, I know some decent-looking black guys, if you will, that have fucked, ugly or white chicks, if you will.
Sure.
But a lot of times they do that because seriously, man, white girls let you get away with murder, especially the uglier ones.
You know, it's funny you said it. Richard Pryor did a bit years ago about, he just went into white girls will suck your dick right away. And it's a very funny bit about how black women don't want to give you head and how fast white women give up the pussy. And, cause he was married to a white girl at the time, I guess. So yeah, I mean, Pryor said that, so I take it as gospel.
Cool. Thank you so much, man. You're good.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Let's see. Now, this is where the poignant questions come in. Yeah, we've had the racial stuff. Yeah, we've had the sexual abuse stuff. All important, I guess. But I got to say, Matt in New Jersey has what is a truly important question. Matt, please.
Hey, little Jimmy.
Hello, Matt.
I know that, you prefaced it with, this is a big deal to more people than, racism and,
Absolutely.
I want to update on the Chipperson cartoon. I know you were saying that it was coming sometime in January.
I know what I said, you piece of garbage. Here's what's happening with the Chip cartoon. I actually was emailing yesterday and today because the holidays fucked it up a little bit. It looks like the Indiegogo is going to start at the very end of January. And what you have to do when you start something like this is get a campaign manager for your campaign. Because I have so much of the stuff done. I have my own social media. There's Chip's social media. I have the radio show, Facebook. I have a lot of stuff put in place that they won't have to do for me. And I do have a video. So I basically just need someone to, we have to come up with some perks for people who donate. But that is starting at the end of January. I was ready to do it December 1st, and I really pushed to do it. But a couple of smarter people than me said, look, I get that you're in a rush. It's stupid because it will die at the end of December, early January. People are paying bills. It's a bad time to do it. So I'm trying to be patient, and I've been working on Chip scripts. But I'm so fucking psyched that it's ready to go. And at the end of January, the Indiegogo will start. And I want to get enough for a few episodes. And, it's funny. I released the picture of Chip on Chip's Twitter, and some people were like, well, the animation's not high level. No, it's not the greatest high level shit. Sorry. It's not, to me, first of all, the priority is not about, I want to make it a Toy Story. I'm not looking to make it a Pixar film. It's this fucking dummy running around going, you fucking piece of garbage. That's what it is. So I hope people like it. I'm very psyched about it. And I don't know where it will go. All I know is I don't want to go broke doing it. So I want to do 5 or 6 episodes, and whatever the best way to release them on social media is. Will Adult Swim or somebody else ever want them? Maybe. Probably not. It's a very fucking targeted demo. Bill Burr's got a massive cartoon now on Netflix. Do I think Chip is ever going to make it to Netflix? No. No, I don't think that Netflix is going to look at this fucking half-retarded idiot and then Uncle Paul and go, oh, that's funny, the fucking pedophile with the tent in his pants. But I don't want to lose money doing it. So I hope people really like it. I'm very happy with what we've done so far. So, but thank you for asking, and believe me, I'll be fucking whoring it at every gig.
Do you have a title for it, or are you keeping that under wraps until
it'll be the Chip Chipperson Show. It's going to be the Chip Chipperson Show, and I think that's what it should be called. A man like Chip should have a show named after him, as I'm sure you'll agree.
Cool. Thanks.
Take care, buddy. Be good. Hey, what's up, Ron in Baltimore? Baltimore! Hey, Ro! That was my Anthony doing his stepfather Sal impression. What's up, Ron?
Hey, what's up, Chip?
Hey, how you doing?
Chip. See, you got me saying Chip.
That's all right. It's understandable.
Thank you. Hey, I wanted to let you know about a year and a half ago when you first started your show. I took your advice. I was a drunk. I was unemployed. I quit drinking. I went to AA. I did that whole route. 13 months sober now. No cravings. Doing great, man. Got an awesome job. Been making great money the past year.
Awesome.
Now, I'm just losing the motivation to not drink. No, I ain't drinking, man. I'm just so far beyond that now. Yeah. I'm just losing the motivation. I'm just bored. And that's what's always led me to drink in the past was you know what I mean? You get that boredom and you bring it on yourself.
Well, I know exactly what you're saying. And, whatever program you go to, and I know people get sick of me saying that, but I am very careful never to align myself with any program publicly. And I do so because certain programs request that you don't, and I'm honoring that. So I'm not trying to double talk when I talk around it. I am simply honoring the request of certain programs. But what happens is a year or two into sobriety, at first, what they call that pink cloud, you're feeling good, everything's new, you're fresh, you're motivated. And then once it settles in, it begins to go like, okay, now what? And sometimes you hit a wall. And it can happen at 1 year or 2 years, and then again at 5 years it happens for some people. It happens for some people at 10. And a lot of times what happened is people told me is you hit a plateau. Like, okay, I've grown a little bit, but this is as far as I can go unless I do something else. Meaning, if you believe in 12 steps, I happen to like the 12-step way of going. So in that vein of thinking, it was time to do some step work because there's so much fucking garbage in me. It was time to do that, or maybe help somebody else. Maybe help another alcoholic, or maybe carry the message to somebody. You know what I mean? If you go to meetings or whatever you do, help somebody else. Sometimes that's what they say keeps the memory green. But, you don't want the gifts you get from sobriety to keep you away from sobriety. And I've done that a lot. Like, all this amazing shit I have is because I got sober at a young age. I don't think I would have went out dramatically. I don't think I would have, oh my God, I was the most tortured soul. I was just a depressed, miserable fucking drinker, and I was young, and I would have committed suicide in my mid-20s. That's probably where I would have wound up. So all this amazing shit that I get, I really am trying this early in this fucking year to stop being such a whinging fucking jizz bucket and appreciate, because Colin said in his speech a few years ago in Montreal that he kind of wishes that he had just realized, oh yeah, I am doing this for a living. Like this should be enough. Like I want to have some gratitude for what I'm doing for a living. So maybe be grateful for stuff and like legitimately be grateful for it and help somebody else. Sometimes helping somebody else really re-sparks it, and it reminds you of exactly how bad it is when you see them newly sober and they don't know if they can get through a couple of days without it and their whole life is falling apart. That becomes gratitude, and that's how we stay sober, as we help other people.
Hey, Jim, I think that what you just said, I never thought of it that way, but what you just said was pretty awesome, because the past 2 or 3 months, I just had this reoccurring urge, literally, to volunteer, to help. Yeah. It's like, man, I just want to do something, man. I want to help kids out that need help. I want to, work with these people that need, you know what I mean? That's exactly the urge. That kind of hit it right on. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you want to do something for other people if you can. And I know and I don't always follow that. You know what's been getting to me lately? And I've talked about this. And, is because pot is so legal and there's so many edibles out and there's vapor. There's all these new ways to do it. I know I can't do it. I know I can't. I know that for me, I'm not a guy, I'm not Joe Rogan, and I've said this before. I'm not a fucking dude that can do that and function. I'm a guy that does that shit and would get paranoid and become even more dysfunctional than I am. So I have to remember not to. But you never get to a point where you're just totally safe. Hey, I'm put on cruise control. Like, I have to be very, very fucking careful of getting cocky. Like, I'm comfortable in the fact that I don't drink and this is my life, but I am never at a point where I think that I'm bigger than it or I've beaten it. Because I know people are like, oh, you were young when you quit. But I know myself well enough to know that if I start again, it will ruin my life. I have no doubt about that. It's not a maybe, and it's not something I'm willing to experiment with. So, it's like you got to kind of be vigilant and just be grateful that life is going very well. But don't let that be the thing that keeps you away from doing what you need to continue doing.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, man. And, hey, can't wait to see you come to Baltimore again. I come and see you every time you come. So
I'm coming down there in March or April. Check my website. I do have a Baltimore date. Thanks, buddy.
Sweet, man. Thanks.
Be good. Matt in Jersey, what fetish you have a question about, young man?
Well, it's more of a question of when to tell somebody or when to bring it up.
Well, who are you talking about telling? Is it a girlfriend?
Yeah. I had a couple girlfriends that just kind of, finger popped me,
Okay.
And, I didn't know when I should tell, a new girlfriend, that's all right.
Wait, when she's rubbing your ass? Oh, when you get do you want strap on or just a finger?
Nah, just finger.
The way to do it is maybe when she's blowing you, you can do one of two things. You could say, I bought something for you, and you can hide it in your asshole and make her fish it out. And then when she's in there getting out her gift, you orgasm, and she'll go, oh, he likes this. Or you could ask her to rub under your balls and then go like, and push the hips up, and then hopefully she'll get the hip, and her fingers will be down there lollygagging, and then maybe they'll mosey into your asshole. Or you can say, like, rub my ass. That's not a masculine thing to say, so it's hard for us to ask for our ass to be rubbed. But a lot of times you just got to raise your hips a little bit and ask her to play with your balls or rub under my balls. And a lot of times they'll get the hint and they'll go down. Just make sure that the first time is, well, all the time, but make sure your asshole is fucking Palmolive clean. Yes, because you don't want her fucking scraping her knuckle and it smells like onions. Then she never wants to go near your fucking taint or your crack again. So make sure your asshole is swabbed out. But a lot of girls will lick your ass like that too. Like if you get a girl like, look under my balls. I don't know, why am I whispering to you? I don't know. I really didn't need to act out like you and I are the relationship couple. It's like in fucking Angie when he goes, whisper in my ear. He goes, Angie. Or whisper in your ear, and then he actually acts out the whisper of fucking Angie. It's creepy. So, yeah, I would say ask her to rub under, and that a lot of times will segue. Or you can just ask her at one time, or you can play with her ass a little bit. Try subtly hinting a few times, and then see if she'll at least rub the outside of your asshole. Okay?
All right.
All right. Good luck, buddy.
See you in Montclair, man.
Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, Montclair. That show's selling very, very well. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Yep.
What's up, Brian in Scranton? What's your question?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing great, man. Even better now that you're back on the air.
I'm happy. I really did miss this. I tell you, if I didn't have this, I don't know what the fudge I would do. Okay, what's going on?
I had a question for you about stand-up. I figured you'd be the guy to ask. I've been messing around with the dabbling, doing gigs in the area that I live in. It's kind of a crappy area. I'm 34 years old with 2 kids, and I'm just wondering, like, at what point do I just say, that's a fucking pipe dream, screw it, don't even mess with it, or should I say, maybe invest a little bit more time, because I understand the grind that you guys put in to get wherever you got to go, and I don't think I could do that sensibly with a family.
Well, you know, when I was 17, I believed it was a pipe dream. And when I was 18, and when I started when I was 21, I believed it was a pipe dream. And I never thought I'd still be doing it. So saying it's a pipe dream is okay. So now that you have a job and a career and some children, 34 is not that old, dude. I mean, it's not like you're 72. Why don't you, if you want to go out and perform, maybe you have to manage expectations. Like, okay, I can only put in so much time. So is the pipe dream, hey, look, I want to do movies and sell out arenas like Kevin Hart. That might be unrealistic. But if you say, I want to just go out and make some money doing comedy and become better at it because I enjoy it and I really love making people laugh, that's not a pipe dream. Like, don't put pressure on yourself for results. Just say, I want to go out and be funny. And when I say results, I mean, don't put pressure on yourself for career aspirations. Don't say, I got to get this big. Just go out and enjoy doing it. Because, you know, there's times where I'm frustrated with my career. We all are. I love that I get to make people laugh. Like, I do genuinely love doing it. I genuinely love doing radio. I love doing stand-up. So, if you love doing it...
good at it.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I've been doing it a long time. Thank you for saying that. But, 26 years. If I'm not good at it, I should fucking put a pistol under my chin. But just, just do the best you can with it and enjoy it and realize that it might not be your new career, but don't discount that either. But don't put so much pressure on yourself.
It's such a difficult thing. I apologize for cutting you off. It's such a difficult thing because, like, with my wife, so, like, I'll get booked for little gigs in the area and whatnot, like around the Poconos and stuff. And it's always fun. It's always good results and whatnot. But it's so hard to sell it to my wife, even. I mean, she respects it for the fact that I enjoy doing it.
Sure.
But, it's still kind of a waste of time in her eyes. You know what I mean? And it's a hard thing for me to reconcile with.
Yeah, she should be supportive of that. If it's something that means a lot to you, she should be supportive of that. Even if it's not something you're going to make a living at forever, I would say she should support that because it's a dream. And you're 34, dude. That's not that old. The life expectancy for people is 70 or fucking 80 now. We don't die. We're not Romans. We don't die when we're 40. So go out and enjoy it. And again, don't, leave your family hungry, but I think you can do both. You can have a hobby that is some stand-up, and you might find yourself doing better than you think.
All right, man. Thanks again. You're the best. Fucking
Good luck, buddy. Thank you, pal.
All right, bye-bye.
I'm coming down to Tampa. Oh, my God, this works out beautifully in 2 weeks. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Jim. How are you today?
I'm good, mister. Hi.
Good. Listen, I had a question because I had actually spoke to you a few months back. Had a girlfriend that had drug problem, and you had kind of advised me she was kind of going through, rehabs and whatnot. And I called to say, should I give her a chance? And you kind of advised me that, I should give her at least an opportunity to get herself cleaned up and better herself.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, she ends up relapsing. She ends up getting arrested, and I bond her out. So in the meantime, just recently she ends up getting Baker acted, which I don't know if you know what that is.
I do not.
Okay. In Florida, if somebody Baker acts you, you have to go into like a mental health clinic because you did something or said something that made them think you were a danger to yourself or others or whatever.
Okay.
So she's out on bond, and here now she's in a damn mental health place. So I'm on the hook for her bail bond if she doesn't go to her court date in a few weeks. So my question is, I can get off of it if I tell the bondsman, look, I want off this thing, and he basically goes and arrests her as soon as she gets out of a mental health thing.
Right.
Do you think that's something I should do, or should I give her the opportunity to finish her community service and, you know, get this thing off her plate on her own and kind of prove that she's trying to still get better and you know, improve her life? Because we're not dating anymore either, so there's no, you know, romantic thing. I mean, I more or less, we did split up because I couldn't, you know, take a lot of the drama and everything.
Well, let me ask you then, why should you, and this doesn't mean that I wasn't given breaks and help, but you already gave her the benefit of the doubt and she fucking used again. How much bailing her out are you going to do? Like, people have to hit bottom before they're ready. And I know that that's real easy for me to say, but, you know, you can help somebody. Of course, you want to help people you love. But once it becomes codependent, and once you're helping them and enabling them, you are fucking literally helping them get high, and you're dragging out their addiction without meaning to. Now, the risk in saying that is if you cut somebody loose and they die, oh my God, do I feel guilty. That's why people hold on, because we're desperately
that's exactly
afraid.
What it is.
Yeah, of course
that's where I get so damn worried about it, because I'm like, shit, this girl's freaking, you know, life's going to be on my hands, and that just, you know, crushes me when I even think about that possibly happening.
But it's not in your hands. It's in her hands, and you care more about it than she does, because she has refused to stop fucking using. Like, the bottom line is, if somebody is continually, like, you know, I'm a pervert. I talk about being a pervert. You know what one of my girlfriends did when she caught me cheating? She fucking dumped my ass. I was sitting on my living room floor, and I was crying, and I was sorry, and I really meant it in that moment, because I love this girl, and I fucked up, and I got busted, and I was broken, and I was desperate, and she knew it, and she fucking left anyway. And you know what? She's actually a friend of mine today, and she should have left. Fuck me. She was giving me a chance by being her by being her boyfriend, and she being my girlfriend. I fucked up. She was under no obligation to put herself at risk and stay with a guy who was going to cheat on her again. So I am responsible for my own well-being. So this girl's fucking responsible for her own shit. And you did give her a chance, and you did stick around, and you're not even dating anymore. You can detach with love. You can still be her friend, but say, look, your using is not going to affect me like that. I can't do it. You know? Because you're only making it easier for her to use. You don't want to make it easier for her to get high.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of where I was going with it, too. But hearing it from, you know, outside, that's what I was looking for. So, all right. Well, thank you, Jimmy. When are you coming to Tampa, bud?
I'm coming in 2 weeks.
All right. I will do my best to get there.
Yeah, I'll be at Side Splitters. I'll be on, I'm sure, Cowhead show. I'll be on Mike Calta show. So thanks a lot, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks, Jimmy.
All right. Let's see here. Dan in Green Bay said retarded at dinner. Oh, no. What happened?
Well, we were playing dinner, playing some games and stuff, and my sister-in-law made an off-the-cuff comment. She asked if there was a baseball game on, and I said, what, are you retarded? It's December. Okay. And she said, don't use that language. She's a school teacher. And I got into a big verbal tirade about soft language, soft people, the dumbification of kids and things like that. And, oh, boy, it got very cold very fast. Everybody kind of avoided me for the rest of the time, and now people are canceling their other to-dos with our side of the family. Nobody asked for an apology yet, but I kind of feel borderline guilty because I voiced my opinion maybe too much. Well, and I don't know how to rectify it.
There's a way, you know, there's times where you pick your battles. And there's a way to, as they say, stand your ground and stand up for things. I remember, it's funny you say that. I remember years ago, I was in a relationship, and I said something racist about Al Sharpton when he was about to come after the Opie and Anthony show. It just came out in a moment of anger. And the girl got mad at me because she had black members of her family. And it was I got so mad at her for at that moment breaking my balls about it. Like, Like, this guy's might come after our fucking jobs. Can you give me a fucking break? But I got too mad at her. Like, I think legitimately my point was right and her timing was a little shitty with it. Like, she could have afterwards said, if you could, I probably would have said, oh, sorry. But I overreacted to her voicing her opinion to what I said. Somebody saying I don't like the word retarded. Like, look, do I use it less now than I did at one time? Yes. I use the word faggot less now. It doesn't mean I never say them, but I realize, like, okay, they're tremendously taboo words. It's like you do a quick edit in your head and you use something else. Unless you really need that word, then you still use it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if I'm talking about somebody being mentally retarded, I'll say the person is retarded. I don't feel the need to say mentally challenged, because I don't think the word retarded, is a terrible or degrading word when describing somebody who's mentally retarded. If you're using if you're being demeaning about it, going, fuck you, retard, that's different than saying, like, she had a son who was retarded and he went to a special school. There's just a difference in the intent. But, like, if you say that at a fucking family function, once in a while, dude, in this day and age, it's almost like if you were watching a football game and someone dropped the ball and you went, that fucking nigger dropped the ball, and a black friend of yours is in the thing, you might be like, Jesus Christ, why the fuck did I just say that? And if he got mad at you, it wouldn't be an instinct to give him a language lecture. It might be like, fuck that, all right, I'm sorry I said that.
Well, I guess I'm going to ask, when did I miss the boat on the retard word used in just any kind of, not even social, like a family event thing, just become like taboo and basically just become like this horrible word? Well, I was with my buddies like, that's the most retarded thing I ever heard.
Most of us, dude, how old are you?
I don't get it.
I'm 47. I'm going to guess you're over 40.
No, I'm 36.
Okay, 30. You're 36. You're not a guy who's 22 years old. We grew up a little bit differently with language, and retard and faggot were schoolyard words. Like, nigger would always get you fucking punched in the face. Like, that was one you just didn't use. And now they're being overly paranoid about it. Like, all of a sudden now you say that, and it's like somebody ran in with a suicide vest. But that's always been a fucked up word. And even, in 1978, when I was 10 or 11, and my buddies Pierre and Randall, who were, two of my closest friends were black, and I knew you don't say that to these guys, you're gonna get fucking hit. But, as we've grown on, but don't forget that word in maybe the 50s or 40s wasn't taboo. Like, retard wasn't taboo when we were kids. Faggot wasn't taboo when we were kids. So it kind of changes as you get older. And I'm going through this thing where I'm trying to I hate political correctness because I think it's based in a lie. But it's also, I don't want to ignore any type of, different viewpoints on language just for the principle of it. Like, if people don't like retard and they're in your family, maybe, if like, oh, okay, I won't say that again around the family. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, but nobody in the family is a retard. She's just a school teacher at a high school, and
but I'm saying that's the culture we live in. Words that have been used. This is the problem with words like retard and faggot and a lot of the racist stuff. Again, you and I did not hold people back with those words, but growing up, those words were used to talk about retarded people. Like, you fucking retard. Look at the retard. Like, we said that a lot. There was a retarded kid in the fucking class that would go, it's Mikey the retard, or whatever his name was. And, like, we did use faggot in a nasty way to gay kids or kids we thought were gay. I've been looking back, I should have fucking screamed it into a mirror every day. But, it's one of those things where it's a reaction to us being fucking awful about it or people being awful about it. So that's why it's become this taboo thing. Do I think that political correctness goes way too far with it? Yes, of course. Because there's no balance to it. Like, I get rebelling against it, but, I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you about it. If you don't feel like you should say you're sorry, don't say you're sorry. You shouldn't apologize if you don't mean it. Like, once in a while, if you say something around people and you feel bad about it, say you're sorry. Just do it, if you don't want to do it.
I could really give a flying fuck myself. It's just a matter of now, the weekend functions with the kids and everything else. I mean, I think about
dude, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where, as we get older, a lot of the things that meant nothing to us mean something to younger people, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Black Sabbath doesn't resonate with college students, unfortunately, the way it used to. Well, the word fucking faggot didn't resonate with me and my buddies the way it does with young people. So that's just the price of getting older. We have to fucking adapt to this shit and these changes that are happening behind us. And part of it is frustrating because it's based in bullshit. And part of it is just a resistance to us feeling older. So I'm trying to balance what's my legit feelings on this shit. Like, I don't want to be the old guy that just holds on to an old ideal because I'm a stubborn cunt. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to do it because I think it's right.
Yeah, I just don't want to just piss people off. But I mean, yeah, whatever. I mean, all reality. I mean, it was a retarded question.
Well, it's one of those things where, we're just grappling with it. It's one of those things where it's all you hear about on social media, and this is people who get fired, people get in trouble. So it's something that everybody kind of talks about, and they're doing all these PSAs. I got to cut you off because we have too many people, but thank you for the call. And it's one of those things, Dan, that we're all dealing with as we get older. And you know what? Every generation thinks the generation behind us is a pussy. Like, I'm catching myself in that. Like, do I think safe spaces are fucking shitty? Yes. And you college students, you are dickheads for the safe spaces. But, the older people thought my generation were pussies. And the people before them thought they were pussies. And compared to Vikings, we're all a bunch of fucking panty-waist dick suckers. So we should stop accusing younger people of being soft just because they don't like the exact same language we do. Safe spaces, yes, they're soft with. Okay, I'm babbling. Let's see here. Wow, Damon in D.C., that's a big one. What's going on? I only got a couple minutes, so I apologize for yapping so much.
No worries, man. It's funny because my friends and I had that same conversation about how we've got to the age where we think think people now are pussies when our dads used to call us pussies. It's absolutely true. But anyway, man, I'm in a bad situation because my brother tells me, I'm a single guy, I'm 40, and he's like, you know what, you should date my ex-fiance. And I know her. I was kind of attracted to her. But now he's married to someone else. So I'm like, all right, man, but I'm telling you, it could be a problem. He's like, nah, dude, you guys won't get along that well. Just have fun with her, have sex, whatever. Okay. So now, it's been about a month, and she and I are serious, but I have no idea how to tell him because he's remarried, and he doesn't want his wife to know. And I don't know what to do. Our families are real close, too. It's crazy.
Well, why should you have to lie? If he encouraged you to date her and to fuck her and you happen to like her, hey, he set that up. So I wouldn't worry about what his wife knows or don't know. He'll have to deal with that. I know I'm not trying to say he's a dick, but I would never want somebody that close to me fucking my ex. I just wouldn't. So if he's like, hey, fuck her, okay, that's fine. But, he has to know that the risk of you guys dating was there, and you are dating. So why can't his ex-wife know?
You know what? I think a little bit because of insecurity on her part.
Well, let her deal with it. Why should the whole family lie because she's fucking insecure?
You know what? She's actually, I don't think she is. That's what his perception is because this girl, his ex, she used to be real shallow. She's real cute, real little, but his new wife's very good looking too, but I think he'll assume that she'll be jealous and I can't bring her around. But it's like, I'm like, you know what? Get over that, man. I don't know what to say.
Honestly, you're right. He should have to get over that, and you should bring her, and then just don't be around him, and then he might go like, hey, I miss you, and go, yeah, well, I'm dating a girl now who you told me to date. So if you don't mind being around the guy she used to fuck, why should he mind his new wife? It's got nothing to do with his new wife.
That's what you. Hey, by the way, what are you not doing the DC show?
I'm going to reschedule that. There was a problem with the date, but yeah, I'm absolutely coming down and doing DC.
Sweet, man. If not, we're all going to Baltimore, dude. I appreciate it, man. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Mike in the Bronx, we only got a couple of minutes. Well, your brother was raped when he was younger. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? So...
You called a while ago, didn't you?
I did. Wow. I'm surprised that you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a really shitty person, went through rehab, came out of rehab, we thought that he was going to be all right. Still a shitty person. I'm come from a family where you have to wear a helmet around everyone or else you're going to get hurt. Right. We throw jokes and get everybody, and he's so sensitive and he's just such a shitty person. And
how long has he been sober?
Now here's the thing. What's sober? He still drinks.
Okay.
You told me a while back to go to like a meeting, because he's a shitty person, and you need to go to meetings for people who. And I tried it, and it worked because I reconciled with him. to an extent, but he's like a bull. He's just so tough to be around.
Yeah, I mean, it was just avoid him until hopefully his life will change a little bit and he'll be better. I mean, you can't change him, dude. You know, sometimes people hold on to the past as an excuse to be shitty in the present, and sometimes the damage is just so extensive. That's the way it is. So hopefully he'll come out of that if he stays sober. But if he's drinking, hey, look, maybe he's not ready to change. That's probably why he hasn't changed. He's not truly sober. Hopefully he'll get sober.
Yeah, all right, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, the phone lines are still jammed. Call back next week. I'm sorry to everybody I did not get to. I got to wrap up. But I appreciate all your calls. And a couple of Viagra questions come in next week, writer's block. And thank you to Rob, who said my show in Providence was great. 2 sold-out shows. Fucking phenomenal crowd. And that's a very, very well-run club. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow morning if you listen to me on Opie's show or next week. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to The Jim Norton Show. Hear all that advice whenever you want to on demand at SiriusXM.com/on-demand. On SiriusXM is real.